What a beautiful day it is. Tuesday, September 18th. It's Straight Talk with Fella and Rev. Mr. Rev Ro, how are you feeling? How you doing today, sir?
Pretty good, man. Had to switch it up do it on a different day today. One time for the one time.
Yep.
Pretty good though, man. I got a lot of work on my plate right now. As soon as I get done with this, got a paper to finish and some slight work to edit. Finally eat, because I haven't eaten since noon, and then I'm relaxed, man. So
that's how
the show moving.
That's how it should be. We gotta get out here, do that thing, thug this thing.
For real.
But yeah, so it's pretty much the same. Just gotta stay on top of my work. This is a time commitment. But we gonna get it done. We got this. I'm thinking this gonna be the only show this week again, once a week. Seems like what we've been doing. Anything you want to talk about before we get the show on the road?
Oh yeah, just speaking on twice, but as the semester progresses, there will be some days where our schedules won't line up, or prior commitments. So there will be some times where we might fall off the face of the earth completely for a full week, but we're gonna try to at least get y'all at least one episode. So don't worry about that. Other than that, I'm ready to get it busting, Josh.
You ready to get it busting?
Busting, like plat cat. You know what I'm saying? Like bust.
Okay. Sending out a couple more links. Alright, let's get it. Alright, so let's get the show on the road. You know how we always do it. Hope that's loud. Get that down a little bit. Turn this guy off. Alright, and you know how we always start the show off with question of the day. Of course, this is the segment of the show where we ask each other a question and grade each other upon the answer of that question. The grades are completely subjective, so please don't get offended.
Let them know.
I can give whatever grade I want to give. It don't matter.
Absolutely.
But you can't get in your fifis.
None of that. Oh no! Don't do that.
Don't do that. All right, so I'm gonna start the show. I'm gonna start with my question. I think this one might stump you. So let's see. All right, so my question is September 18th, 22 years ago to the day, there was a famous phrase that became pretty legendary in this sport. Okay? What was the famous phrase, and who was the athlete that made the phrase? On this day, 22 years ago. So 22 years ago, that would be I'm 22, 1996. And I don't know, I'm not gonna give you the sport because that would just make it very easy for you.
What? So I'm just supposed to guess.
But it's not
notable quote from any sport.
It's
22 years ago today.
It's not one of the major sports. It's a sport, and some people might not even call it a sport, but it is a sport. Let me see, what hint can I give you? I don't know. It's just a phrase that followed this athlete throughout his career, and yeah, that's all I got for you.
Oh, is it the? Wait, no, because I feel like that's a different day.
It's none of the major sports though.
Oh, it's not a major sport. 22 years ago today.
Yep.
Not a major sport, but it's a known like quote or phrase.
Very well known. Very well known. And it's probably this person is probably one of the top 2 or top 3 greatest of this sport. And it followed him throughout his career. It was basically like his trademark. It was his trademark.
Of course, you know I want to say Allen Iverson practice, but you said it's not a main sport.
No, and that definitely wasn't 22 years ago.
Right, and that's the timing was off too. But all of that, like, you know what I'm saying, like all the hints, that's the similar concept. Dang. I don't know. And I feel like I'm going to be mad when you tell me.
You will be.
I'll take my L, because I cannot think of anything. It wouldn't be football or basketball.
Nope.
Instead of something that people think isn't
what if I said it's not a sport yet? It's not really a sport.
I don't even know, man. I ain't even... what is it?
22 years ago today, Stone Cold Steve Austin said for the first time, Austin,
that's what it is. Like,
Austin 316.
Dang.
22 years ago to the date.
I sure know exactly what you're talking about too.
Stone Cold for the very first time said Austin 316. John, he said Austin 316 says
or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. 22 years ago to the date. I saw it on Facebook.
Well played. See, and even if you gave me, I probably would have picked the wrong one. Because when I think of Stone Cold Steve Austin, I think of every other word. People in the crowd be like, "What?
Yeah.
What?" So I probably would have guessed the wrong phrase either way. Stone Cold. That's a good one. I like that question. I give you an A for asking me that.
Yeah, and you get it up for answering completely wrong, and not even giving a guess.
Yeah, whatever. I'll take that. Now I'm gonna raise you one that ain't so easy. Is you ready? Or is you ready?
I'm always ready. Born ready.
Let me check the views in the comments real quick. Make sure ain't nobody in here, trying to do no cheating foolishness. Cause they like to try to help people out and stuff. All right. So in the Eastern Conference right now, there's very few great players, right? Like there's some decent guys and some all-stars, but there's very few like dominant top guys, right?
Yeah.
So Milwaukee has one of those guys. They call him the Greek Freak. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Sound familiar? Ring a bell?
Mm-hmm.
What I want you to do is I want you to spell out his first and last name without cheating. How do you spell his first and last name?
This is very petty. Okay. Giannis, I think, is pretty easy. Giannis. Giannis.
Okay, Giannis, you got that. Okay.
Okay, Antetokounmpo. Antetokounmpo. Another T. Is it like KO? PMKO? Antetokounmpo. Hold on, let me type this out real quick. Hold up. ANTE Ante.
Mind you said ANTETKONKPO or something like that.
Yeah. Antetokounmpo. Like this. I put it in the group chat. Antetokounmpo.
Let me see. Let me fact check it
That's not right.
in the Discord chat.
Yeah. No. In YouTube chat.
Oh, the YouTube chat. Okay, let me see. All right, Josh. This feels good to be able to reciprocate your energy, bro. You get a fat fluke, a fat F.
Oh, at least I got the first day right. That's 50%. I guess it is still
Shit,
a
that's
F.
about 25% because his last name is so long. All right, Antetokounmpo.
Spell it out on the chat.
It's you. I mean, you were fairly close. You were pretty close. Drop it in the chat for those that want to know, didn't previously know. You're only a couple letters off.
Antetokounmpo. Oh, that was hecka close.
Yeah, Antetokounmpo.
I missed the N and I missed the O.
Back to back.
I missed the N and the O. That is it. I was close.
Yeah, he was real close.
Man, I should get better than the F, man. Bump that.
I told you it was a black and white answer. If they ask you in the spelling bee to spell muskrat, you spell it with a K instead of a C. You don't get to stay up there because you was close. They ring the bell and you sit down.
I don't even remember the word I missed. I know it was something stupid though, because I got knocked out early.
That's the word I missed. I was at the district spelling bee, and I said C. I was like, oh, but I couldn't take it back. So I had to take my L. I swept the whole Parker Road School in the spelling bee. Got to the district, choked on a dumb word.
What word was it?
Muskrat.
Muskrat. Oh, yeah, you trip.
I was like, M-U-S-C. Oh, shit. Like, it was one of those moments you realize as soon as you, but it wasn't nothing I could do to take it back.
And it was at that moment that Romero knew he effed up.
Yeah. Big effed up. So, yeah. Question of the day, starting off with double F.
Yeah.
But
it's all good. It was very fun and entertaining questions. I hope you guys enjoyed. With that, we're going to get into the rest of the show. And we're going to start off with one of our new segments. Last week in 60 seconds. Again, this is a segment. We did this for the first time on last Monday. And I kind of liked it. I enjoyed doing it. But we just try to break down the last week or so in 60 seconds. So we just ask one another a question, and the other person gives a hot take. And as quickly as possible, and we're going to try to do 4 questions within 60 seconds.
All right. All right. Your first question, Doc. Let's get it.
All right. I got the timer right here on the side of me. If you guys don't trust me, you can time me yourself. But I ain't gonna lie, I got integrity. All right, so are you ready?
All right, go.
Okay, so first question is about the Timberwolves last week. Jimmy Butler scheduled a meeting with Tom Thibodeau. What did you think about that and everything just going on with the Timberwolves?
I think Tib and the president are hoping that they can convince Jimmy to stay. That's a great two-way player. You hate to lose him.
And then my second question for you is Le'Veon Bell is out for another week. He's holding out again. $1.7 million is his total fine charge. What would you do with that money?
$1.7 million. Pay off all these student loans, drop out of school, and get everything I ever wanted, reasonably. All right. So my question is for you. First and foremost, Triple G Canelo. What do you think of the fight?
I think that fight was more of a tie than the first fight, but I'm okay with them giving it to Canelo.
All right, that's fair. Thursday night football. What are your thoughts?
I actually didn't catch the game, but I was just excited to see AJ Green give me 3 touchdowns, which was more touchdowns than Julio Jones had all of last season. Stop.
What you got, 69, 70?
Yeah, I got a minute and 8 seconds. A minute and 9 seconds.
We're getting better.
It was pretty close.
We getting much closer, raffling these off real quick. Yeah. I'll take that. 68 seconds, 69 by my count.
Yeah.
I prefer my number, of course, because it's more immature. But you know, I dig it. I dig it.
What did you count? How did you count?
Uh, it's probably because of the way I said go, and then you started, so I was probably a second off because of that.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I
Yeah.
mean mine really is
All right.
60.
Now down to the
It's
real deal business. What's our
68.8.
first discussion of the day, Josh? I know you brought this up, so I want you to start that.
Oh, okay. So yeah, to kick off the show, I wanted to go back to our Urban Meyer talk. So I don't know if you caught it. Well, I did. Well, I know you did actually. I don't know if the people in the audience saw the interview with Tom Rinaldi on ESPN, but I did, and it was kind of shocking to me because he just didn't like the more and more he talks about it, he just seems less and less uh
Sympathetic.
yeah, less sympathetic each time he comes up. Like the first time during the press conference, he didn't apologize during the press conference. And then when he did apologize, he didn't necessarily apologize for his actions. He just seems to be avoiding like accepting responsibility
Right.
for his part in it. And
Yeah.
in the interview, like he apologized again, but he didn't apologize without Tom Rinaldi like, so are
Kind
you,
of pressing him for it.
yeah, making it like you said, like we were talking about this in class. It was like Rinaldi, it seemed like he was like cross-examining him for it during the trial. Like he was like, so did you do this, or like are you saying this?
Hmm.
And it wasn't until Rinaldi did all that that Urban Meyer um actually like said the stuff that he should have been said a long time ago. So I was that, and then I plus I wanted to know what you kind of thought about the interview.
Yeah, I agree. Overall, it just seems like he's not really willing to accept any accountability or responsibility on his behalf because he knew more than enough to have done or said something. So your hands aren't clean enough here for you to just be like, I don't know, or I just didn't do anything. Like you don't get to do that because you knew more than enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And hello, you got me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Mic check, mic check.
I can hear you. So can the world. Hello?
Okay, you got me now.
Yeah, I never lost you.
Oh, okay. I lost you, so I couldn't hear if you were confirming or not. So that's my fault. But anyway, yeah, he never seemed like he really wanted to take accountability, and you don't get to do that when you knew as much as you knew. My other problem with the interview wasn't actually Urban Meyer himself; it was Rinaldi, only because while for the most part it was a decent interview, I didn't like how accusatory it felt because it felt like the way he was kind of grilling him with some questions felt like you kind of pushing him into the corner, like he's the one that was beating his wife. You know what I'm saying? Like at certain points, it didn't feel like this is the person that knows about it. It feels like this is the questions I'm asking the person that actually did hit his wife. So that was my only problem with it. Like at times, it felt like, whoa, calm down. Like I get that you want to know these questions or these answers, but this ain't the one that actually put his hands on nobody. So sometimes it just felt a little too like I'm accusing you or like you're the one that's should be at fault and in the spotlight right now. But other than that, I thought it was an interesting interview, and like you said, it's just kind of weird to see him never really seem like he is apologetic. And then one of the things he was asked was about a statement he had, like basically supporting and respecting women or something like that. And he asked him, "Was that still his stance or something?" And he said, "Yeah, well, but if that's your stance, then why were you so silent about somebody domestically abusing their wife?" And this isn't nothing recent. Like you've known about this for a long time now. So it was just kind of weird that he seemed so nonchalant about really owning up to anything.
Yeah, yeah, that was kind of my problem with him in the interview. But I honestly disagree with you as far as Tom Rinaldi, because I feel like yeah it was a little accusatory, but I didn't see that as a problem because um he didn't let Urban off the hook like with some of the half, for lack of better terms, half answers that he was getting. He
Mm-hmm.
was giving during the interview, so he like when he would give one of those kind of half answers and not necessarily answer the question or kind of try to dodge the question, he would like stop him in his tracks and just like, no. So are you saying this, or he was just trying to get a clear
Yeah,
clarification of what what Urban Meyer was saying and what Urban Meyer believed, and he really like questioned him on his values, and I appreciated that because with something like this, if you got an interviewer that just lets him say whatever and is not listening to him and is not um kind of like I said earlier, like not thinking of it as a cross examination, um, Urban Meyer gets left off the hook kind of easy. Um, Alongside with his 3 game suspension, with what most people would already kind of assume was, or most people believe was kind of leaving him or allowing him to get off fairly easily. So
yeah, and that's why I say it was at certain points. Because overall, there were some times where he was trying to just skate by with a really dry answer, and it was made very clear. Oh, no, you're not just gonna slide with that, and that I don't have a problem with. It just and I can't think of a certain point to highlight off the top of my head, but there were points where it felt like, hold on, man, just, just take it a
yeah,
little easy now. This
yeah,
ain't, but whatever. Um, Overall, I think it was something that people needed to see and hear. And I will say that Coach Meyer didn't help himself anymore as far as the public perception of this event by his very nonchalant approach to the issue. He didn't do himself any favors by not ever seeming genuinely upset or sorry about anything that occurred. So that's not a good thing by any means.
yeah. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about as far as the interview. It was I think, like I said, Timer. I feel like he did a really good job. And it was really exclusive because that's the first time you've seen Urban Meyer talking in front of the camera. Since all this started, other than like the press conference.
Hmm.
And he just, to me, he just seemed to be digging himself in a bigger hole. And like I
Absolutely.
said, doesn't seem very sympathetic about his part in it. Even though it was I feel like it wasn't as big of a part as some people kind of feel like, and that's okay that they have a different opinion. But at the end of the day, he kind of overlooked the abuse, and he could
Hmm.
have done more. Um, and he just didn't show any sympathy for like his part in it. That was kind of lame.
Yeah.
But other than that, we can go ahead and move to the next topic. We're gonna keep it in a football family, but we're gonna move up from college to the NFL. The big news, um, for the most part through the weekend and um early this week has been Josh Gordon being traded to the New England Patriots. So it was announced last week that the Browns were going to release him,
Hmm.
and over the weekend, the more and more people were beginning to think that the New England Patriots were showing interest in him, and eventually on Sunday or Monday, it was yesterday, I think.
That was yesterday.
Yep, the Patriots and the Browns settled a deal to trade Josh Gordon to the Patriots for a fifth round draft pick, and the Patriots will also get a seventh round draft pick if Gordon doesn't play in 10 games this season for them. So, what were some of your thoughts on this trade? Do you think he's a good fit in New England?
Um, I don't think he's a good fit anyway. Actually, gonna stay physically healthy for once, because that's been one of his biggest problems is being able to actually stay on the field. So until we really know for sure that he can do that, I think it's hard to really tell where he qualifies as a decent fit. But what was most interesting about it to me is it kind of caught me off guard, I'd say, because some of the places he was looking at, because he was looking at the Cowboys, I think he was looking at, and the other team is slipping my mind. Um, so the Patriots just kind of, it was like, I don't know. So that was what was most interesting to me. But I mean, if you get a healthy version of Gordon along with what you've already got, then the Patriots to me just get a little bit better and scarier than they already generally are. Because now you got alternative options and weapons, you know. So it'll be interesting to see how it works out. It's one of those experiments that if it works out, it's gonna be great. If it doesn't, I mean, you know, you don't really lose much because you're not expecting a whole lot.
Yeah, and I think I saw Stephen A. Smith was talking about how he doesn't feel like it's a good fit, but I don't understand that how or why he feels like it's not. Because I mean, they have Tom Brady. All they just Tom Brady. If you just give Tom Brady any kind of weapon or any amount of weapons, he pretty often um
You'll make it
turn
work.
uses that make the uses the weapon worthwhile. The only other time where it kind of really didn't work out was when they received or when they signed Chad Ochocinco, and that kind
Yeah,
of only lasted for a year, and then it just kind of fell off pretty quickly. But Josh Gordon is not Chad Ochocinco. Kind of has some of the off-field issues, similar, not I would say similar to Chad Ochocinco, but I don't know. They both kind of had off the field issues,
mm-hmm.
and that's similar. But other than that, they're kind of for the most part completely different players, um, completely different sizes. So I don't know. I think it'll work. I believe as long as Josh Gordon, like you said, stays healthy and obviously doesn't have any issues with um his drug problem that he had. I think
Yeah,
he'll do fine, and um I don't see I don't see it as being a problem.
yeah. And the other Buccaneers, he was looking at a trade to the Cowboys or the 49ers.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, I guess probably because the Cowboys are kind of trash, I was almost expecting them to get that done. Um, but obviously that didn't work out. So like I said, the Patriots come out of nowhere. It's always that team that never gets mentioned that ends up grabbing these players. So it always kind of shocks you.
Yeah.
They're like a obviously not the same caliber player, but like the Paul George situation. Nobody was here in OKC, and then out of nowhere they grabbed him. People like, hold on, what? So that's kind of how the Patriots played it. They were very under the radar. It felt like, at least from the public perception.
Yeah. That's true. But yeah, we can the other hot topic of NFL kind of throughout this weekend or over the weekend, starting Sunday because it happened Sunday obviously, was Vontae Davis retiring at halftime. Early candidate for Petty Betty of the Week. Matter of fact, we're going to give him Petty Betty of the Week because we probably
Yeah,
won't be doing our show on Friday. So Vontae Davis is Petty Betty of the Week for obvious reasons. Would you like as a teammate, what would you say to this man? Like, what would you do to Vontae Davis? He retires at halftime, which is hilarious.
I don't even know how you. We all trying to pep up and talk about what to prepare for in the next half and da da da, and you raise your hand like, "Hey, I'm done." Like, hold on, what you mean? Like, you got a crab? What you? No, like I'm done.
What you
I'm gonna
hurt?
leave now.
You
Wait,
hurt? You injured or
so you'll be back? Like, what you mean? No, like I
something?
I'm not doing this anymore.
I'm weak.
Um, it's just not worth it, and not for this team at least. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits right here. This is I'm sorry, it's a wrap. It's a no for me. Like you had to imagine everybody in the locker room was looking like, what? Like you playing right? Like what you mean? He over here taking off equipment like, yeah, I'm about to shower, but good luck the rest of the night, y'all. Like I feel like I'd be looking like, where's Ashley at, bro? Like where the cameras at? Ain't no way. He's serious right now. So how you just gonna retire at halftime, bro? Like who does that? Why did you even show up tonight? That's my biggest thing. Like, what you come here for if you was just going, I'm out. Like,
Yeah.
you could have did that before tonight.
It really don't make sense. Like, how do you just decide halfway
In
through a
the middle of the
game?
game.
Yeah, like that. I feel like that's a decision that you got to really think about. He must have really just been getting kicked around because he's a corner. He must have really been just getting like abused on the field, and he
He
just
been
like
going through
couldn't
it.
do anything to
Like
guard the wide
he been
receiver that
thinking about this. That
to
don't just happen.
yeah to guard his assignment. And then what makes it even worse. You play for a horrible team. You play for the Buffalo Bills, and they're garbage this year. You talked about Cowboys. The Buffalo Bills are worse.
That's fair.
Um, again, Buffalo Bills have always been bad since I've been alive, and they were good for a while. They're good for a second, and now they're just trash again. So
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know how do you play for half a game and just retire. I've never seen that before. First time that's ever happened in my lifetime.
Yeah, that it just caught me so off guard because I was like, hold on, what? Like, gotta rub your eye real quick. Hold on, did I read that right? Like,
Other than tennis, that happens, but a lot of times it just happens from like injuries.
yeah,
They'll retire in the middle of the match, but they don't retire from the sport either. That's
right.
a completely different thing. Just retire from the entire sport at halftime.
Yeah, that's what I said. I know they like, no, what you mean? No, like I'm done. I'm I quit
like
because I ain't never ever
like what?
playing football again.
Like
I know his team was like, wait, huh? Like this can't be real. That's really odd.
yeah. And then lastly, in the NFL side of things, AB. This is a kind of a development story, breaking news. Well, not really breaking news, but it is a development story. Antonio Brown did not show up to practice on Monday, and I don't think he
Mm-hmm.
showed up to practice today. Um, and I saw the tweet, but I didn't take it seriously because I didn't. It didn't seem like it was something to be taken very seriously. So somebody said to him, or somebody, it wasn't even to him. It was just like a article or something in there, or they just tweeted it, and they were like, he felt, or they felt like that basically Big Ben is the reason Antonio Brown is successful. Like he's only success. Hey, what is that?
I'm sorry. I'm in the fine arts building. Weirdos, and they like to sing and all types of craziness. So forgive me for random noises that you might hear.
Oh, okay. But anyway, they were saying like basically that Big Ben or Antonio Brown is only good because of Big Ben and the team that he's a part of. Saying like if it if it weren't for Big Ben or the rest of the offense, that Antonio Brown would uh probably just be a solid special teams player.
Mm-hmm.
And he quoted that tweet and said, trade me, trade me and I'll show you. Or it was like trade me and I'll we can find out like for sure.
Yeah,
And I guess I didn't take it seriously because it just seems like he's just like taking a shot back at the dude. He didn't really want to be traded.
right.
But now he's not showing up to practice, and people are really starting to kind of look at it and read more into it.
Yeah, stuff like that will kind of make you go, hold on, like he might for real want out.
Yeah, like wait,
Um,
you just playing, right?
like you was tweeting, like you serious? Yeah, it is kind of an odd situation because, like you said, typically in those scenarios, it's just the public figure, going tit for tat with the fan. Oh, they said something, so I'm gonna throw something back, Um, but all of a sudden, for that to honestly seem like that's the goal feels very strange. Um, I don't know. That's something that they definitely need to get figured out because you hate to lose AB, regardless of what people might think on Twitter. Shoot, you hate to lose him. Let me see. There's actually a. I just came across something from AJ because the tweet was not in reference to anything other than Antonio responding to a person he knows. was not directed towards the trade or wanting to be traded. It was a personal response to a former Steelers employee who insulted him. Any idea he was asking for a trade is not accurate. Secondly, yesterday he had a personal matter. I talked to the team about it. His issue was unrelated to the tweet or his relationship with the team. Anything you see between AB and the coaches, AB has an incredible drive to win. He just wants to win. That is all that is.
Where'd you get that from?
Hmm?
Where'd you get that from?
This is a quote from his agent.
Oh, okay.
So I guess it is a non-story, but it's just one hell of a coincidence.
That on the very next
I
day
don't
he
know.
decides not to show up to practice. Like I
Say
said,
what?
it's a coincidence because on the very next day he decides to not show up to practice, and that's where for me the story actually begins, where it is kind of a
Yeah,
story.
and then that's I don't know because it's I mean same thing if it really is, it was same thing with D Rose.
Hello, you cut out. I think he got a phone call. I'm interested to see what he was going to say about
Say
Derrick
nothing.
Rose.
People,
Hello?
yeah.
It cut out everything you said once you said D Rose.
Oh, I was saying, you remember last year there was a moment where he didn't show up to something, and people were speculating like, what's going on? Where is he? Nobody knows. But the whole time, apparently, the team knew exactly where he was.
Yeah,
So in the same way, it's another case of just because we're not fully transparent with all our information, people jump to assumptions and write articles and all types of foolishness just because they're not in the loop of knowledge.
yeah.
So
Those dang media members and all
yeah,
that fake news that they conjure up.
yeah, they just like to stir up the pot and throw some stuff out there.
I should say
They
they
want to be
conjure up.
oopty scoop with the news, as a friend of mine says.
They want to be who?
Oopty scoop with the news.
Oopty scoop with the news. Underdog, put
Yeah,
that on a t-shirt.
basically.
But yeah, that's all we got on the NBA or NFL.
Yeah,
Is there
yeah.
anything else you want to say?
Uh, let me see. What else was I don't know. Speaking of the Steelers, I hope they figure their whole situation out. You got teammates calling out one of your stars.
Yeah.
You got
Actually, I was gonna say something about
your
that.
other
How much
stars, quote unquote, disappearing from
if
practices.
he
The
did?
Steelers,
Do you think
they going through it.
if we're reading into this, do you think it has a little bit to do with how they're treating Le'Veon Bell, because he was the only one to actually come out and support Le'Veon Bell. So you think is he
Mm-hmm.
frustrated with that a little? And that's something else that I thought maybe it was actually a story.
Mm-hmm. And I was thinking that too before I mean that is the strangest of coincidences. Literally, as you started talking about it, I scrolled past that statement.
Yeah.
But initially, that's something I was thinking because, like you say, I mean, either people haven't said anything or they've said something negatively, and he's the only one that's come out and supported him.
Says something
So I was
positive.
initially thinking like maybe that is part of the issue, but I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yep. Yes, we will see. Probably starting tomorrow and I'm sure they're going to report if he shows up to practice or not.
Mm-hmm.
And if not, it's just going to continue to grow until he comes to practice, and it's going to be huge if he just doesn't come to practice at all. That would be crazy. But
Yeah.
I don't see that happening. I'm pretty sure he's probably going to show up to practice tomorrow, like you said. It's not. I believe his agent. This He was just responding to that tweet, which is how I took it anyway. I didn't read into it until, like I said, he didn't show up to practice, and then now it's like my ears perk up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's all the NFL news that we have. We're gonna go talk about some NBA stuff. So the GOAT, aka Dwayne Wade, announced on Sunday that he will be playing in his last season this year, and he's going to be returning to the Miami Heat for one last
Mm-hmm.
hurrah. So, what are your
Man.
thoughts? Did you see the it was like a 10-minute video. Did you watch it?
No, I did not.
The video from the goat?
I believe I got the notification, but I was doing something at the moment and forgot to revisit it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it all the way through either. It was kind of that's what I
Was
was
it
gonna
too
say.
much for you?
No, it wasn't even that. It was just like, why are you releasing it? It was a 10-minute video of him just talking,
Yeah.
and he did all that just to let us know that he was playing 1 year. And it was like, okay, I understand, but 10 minutes is long for you
Yeah,
just
that's a
to just
lot of talking just for that.
talking. Like we didn't see anything. We just saw you in the spotlight. And I kind of wanted it to make a parody video. Billy had a good idea of making a parody video on it. I feel like that would have been funny. But yeah, it was just him talking, and it was just like, okay, all right, you're gonna be returning for a year, great. Even though he's still a goat, I that was a highly questionable.
Just felt a little like,
It felt a little bit exaggerated, or just drawn out. That's the word.
I got you.
Overly drawn out.
Yeah, oddly enough, I saw something somebody asked, uh, let me go back to it, when he plans to retire. Um, well, it was like a meme asking D Wade when he plans to retire. He said at halftime. So after the Davis situation, people were starting to obviously, make little jokes spinning off from that event. So they said D Wade is going to retire at halftime. I don't know. It's just, I guess it's nice that he's coming back for 1 year, but I don't know. It feel like part of me feels like you could play a little longer, and part of me also feels like you could just call it quits now.
Nah, he's
But I
got to
guess
retire.
1 year is like the fine line between the two, because he probably thinks that himself. Like,
He can't play.
I'm at the age where I could just quit, but I also feel like I could still play. So I guess I'll just do one more
He,
year.
he can't even play 2 games in a row.
Yeah,
It's
well,
about that time.
fair,
It's about that time. He's the goat, but
fair.
he Father Time really whooping his what.
Yeah, come at you quick. But I know you. I mean, you just got to think how bad it sucks to be a friend of LeBron James, because this man been almost invincible.
Right. He is a little older, but yeah,
Yeah,
it
I
does
mean
suck.
they've got a couple years difference, but even like not even father time, but as a decline of skill.
Right.
Like if you mellow, you got to be looking like, come on, son. If you Chris Paul, your hamstring, you looking at him like, dang, I wish I had your hamstrings.
Right.
Like, so it's got to suck to a degree to be a friend of somebody that's almost like Iron Man. He ain't never really been hurt. He ain't never really lost extensive time on the court. It's just
Facts.
like, man,
It's
I
crazy.
hate for that to be my friend.
Right.
Because all the issues I'm dealing with, he's avoided his whole career. And we all in the same age range.
What do you see? What do you see Dwayne Wade doing after his career, or once he retires? Do you see him commentating?
I definitely see him more, most definitely. I feel like he'll be, hey, Jason. I feel like he'll be one of those people that occasionally steps in the booth, um, probably the players only. And then occasionally, he'll be one of those guys. Because every now and then you see somebody come in the booth with Shaq and Chuck and them, or they replace one of them for a night. So I definitely feel like he'll be one of those guys. Almost in the also NBA TV stuff. They'll probably work out something on NBA TV because a guy like D Wade, if you can get him in there, you're going to. So if
Yeah.
he's open to it, I definitely see him in some capacity working with NBA TV or the players only Mondays on TNT.
Which is exciting because I would love to work for them.
Shoot, yeah. If he don't want to, they can call us. I mean, I'll do it right now.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
I don't.
cool.
I don't see him as well. I don't see him as one of the players that gets involved like front office or coaching things, but I definitely think he's one of the people that would get involved in the media side of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think yeah, media more than anything. I don't see him being a coach. I don't know what he's gonna do once he retires. It's gonna be interesting to see. Is he gonna do something like Kobe Bryant? I doubt it because Kobe Bryant is kind of like on a class of his own as far as that
Yeah.
goes. To where he
I
did.
don't feel like people ain't gonna be lining up to
Yeah.
work out with D Wade like they are Kobe.
Right. Or gravitate. Yeah, people don't gravitate to him.
Yeah.
But in other NBA news, we got the 76ers finally have signed a GM. And Rev, I am upset. You hear me?
Yeah, you was cutting out bad. You said 76ers finally signed a GM,
Yeah, they
and then I lost you.
finally signed a GM. And I said, Rev, I am upset.
Why are you upset, my friend?
Because they could have hired me.
Oh, I almost that was
I was interested.
good.
I expressed interest
They,
into the job, and I didn't hear back.
mm,
Um, and they hired somebody like myself who has no prior experience as a general manager. That's upsetting
yeah.
for me. For me to not hear back is very upsetting.
Mm,
So, yeah, they hired Elton Brand of all people, who apparently I just found out he was the GM of a G League team.
mm,
So I guess he does kind of technically have GM experience, but it's not on the level of the NBA. It's the G League. It's different.
right.
Um,
And that is very different. Um,
so
that's
yeah,
funny.
I'm upset about that. Actually,
Well, it's nice that they kept it, I guess, all in the family because not too long ago he was working for them as a player. Um,
I worked for them for a long time.
yeah, so I guess as a former Philadelphia athlete, it's got to be nice to be back with your team um, in just a slightly different capacity than you were used to. I guess I don't know. I guess you almost forgot for a while that they even needed one. You know, like it for a minute. It kind of just, I guess, GM news really just kind of becomes out of sight, out of mind to a degree. So I
Yeah,
read that today and was like, oh,
yeah. Plus the GM, the hard work or the heavy lifting as far as general manager goes in Philly is kind of over. Now that they
yeah,
got all the pieces, like they're not rebuilding anymore. They're just trying to get the championship. So I guess that's kind of the hard part, but at the same time, it's easier than trying to find these players who can possibly get you um, to be a contender.
yeah. So I mean, he came in at, excuse me, a great time because, like you said, most of Philadelphia's hard work is done.
Yeah,
So what a time to be in that hot seat. Uh, yeah, it's an interesting story. Like one of those, I don't know, I guess kind of feel good stories. Player plays for this team, he retires, eventually goes on to work in the front office. Something kind of like not at all similar as far as players concerned. Don't get my comparison wrong, but similar to Magic Johnson. You know,
yeah,
in the same way that it kind of comes full circle. Not at all the same situation because we're talking about a legend, but same concept.
Elton Brand is a legend to a certain extent.
He ain't on Magic Johnson level. In Magic Johnson Lakers, he ain't on that level with the
He was a
76ers, though.
legend from Duke. The Dukies. He was, I'm pretty sure, like the best player coming out of that year. Might have been the number one overall draft pick, actually.
He was co-rookie of the year with Steve.
Yeah, let's see.
Just fun facts about
Co-rookie of the year with who?
EB, if you all weren't aware.
Co-rookie of the year with who?
Co-rookie of the year with Steve Francis in
Steve
the 2000 season.
Francis. 2000. That was the lockout year, I think. Yeah, he won. He was the first overall draft pick from Duke, and he's only 39 years old.
Yeah, he's not that old.
He just retired. played with the 76ers from 2008 until 2012, and had his last season there in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he was like I said, he's a New York legend. New York legend to a certain extent.
Yeah. So
Uh,
good
uh,
for him. Good for Philly. Hopefully he can.
Bad for me.
Yeah, bad for you. Sorry you lost out on that job.
That's
But hopefully he
Raiders.
can keep up the work that the people before him have done and continue to build Philadelphia into a bigger and better franchise. They're already pretty close. So
Yep. So shout out to Philly. Y'all some haters for not even calling me back. Y'all didn't even send me an email. It was the least you could do. But
mm,
that's neither here nor there. And we're gonna move on to the next topic because I don't hold grudges.
that's fair.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
So last topic on the day. MJ Michael Jordan donates how much was it? $2 million.
2 million.
Donates $2 million for the Hurricane Florence relief. Quick topic here. What were some of your thoughts? I'll say I think one of his quotes was like, "You got to take care of home." One of his non-quotes, something that he never said, is, "You got to take care of your people, aka your black people." So, um,
I knew he was gonna go there. I
that-
knew it. Um,
those words have never come out of Michael
I
Jordan,
would just say,
so I'm not impressed, and it's just another tax write-off.
that's fair. That is one way to look at it. As far as a another perspective, I guess, for somebody that is notoriously getting a bad rep for not doing much, um, for not really being active as far as community things are concerned, more so black community than anything. But for somebody that we typically don't give the credit for doing those type of things, it is nice to see him do that. To give $1 million to the Red Cross and $1 million to the Foundation of the Carolinas Florence Response Fund. So $1 million split two ways for two different relief efforts. Um, and being quoted saying, "People need to understand this will not be not be a week long process. This is going to have a huge disruption on people's lives, not for 10 days, but for years." So for him to step out and do that, I think it helps him to a degree. For some of those people, some of the people like you are like, come on now. But for some people, that does help, I guess, with his perception as far as the public is concerned and his activity with more public efforts. So, hats off to Michael Jordan. You got several more million to spare. So don't be afraid to do more if you'd like to. But of course, that's easy for me to say as a broke,
Co-
normal person.
College
Um,
student.
it's easy to tell other people what they should do with that money. But yeah, I think it's a nice gesture,
Yeah.
especially because that's his home. Um, so, GG, Michael Jordan, GG.
Yeah, if you ever think about donating to the Broke Black Brother College Fund, aka Josh Tyler at University of Missouri Columbia, as well as the Broke Black College Fund Part Two, Romero Starks at Lindenwood University, don't be shy. We
Yeah,
uh we we'd be willing.
Michael Jordan. Listen, I got kids, bro. I
Yeah,
got bills.
yeah,
I got student loans.
facts.
I'm not drowning because of a hurricane, but I'm drowning in stress.
Debt and
You know what
stress.
I'm saying? So if you ever feel the need to donate, I'll tell you what, man. I'm not expecting it in my pocket, but you can feel free to hit the bell and subscribe to this channel. You can feel free to drop a super chat in the comment. $2,000, $200, whatever. Just make it a couple zeros. We'll take it. Straight Talk needs some funding, man. We trying to get big out here.
Yeah,
2 million would be nice though.
yeah, it
No
would.
pressure.
Yeah, it would be. But yeah, with that, we're gonna go ahead go to the segment. Speaking of shouting, this is the segment where we just can rant about anything and everything that we want. Um, and I'm gonna let Ref go ahead. Are you speaking? Are you shouting today, sir?
I am shouting because I am not pleased with a couple of things. First and foremost, for those of you that know me, I deactivated my Instagram partially just to give myself a break from social media, and partially because I got some ops that be lurking on me and trying to keep track of my moves, what I do, and they like to inform people of that. Now I ain't down with that, so we on shutdown for a while, 0 to 30, until I can weed out some stuff, and until I really just feel like being back on Instagram. I just think it's nice to kind of detach yourself from that. You get too much in the habit of picking up your phone. Ooh, what's on Instagram? Ooh, what's on Instagram? So just to kind of relax yourself and not feel so dependent on, ooh, what's going on now? What's going on now? And just kind of, focus your energy elsewhere. But I'm also shouting because I have an hour and 55 minutes to finish a paper, which that's not that big of a deal. I only got 200 left. Only problem is I didn't know until like probably 10:30 today that I had this paper due tonight. I had no idea whatsoever. Did not check Canvas, so I was not aware of that. And I have one of those teachers this semester that doesn't feel the need to remind you. He just has it online or in the syllabus. And if you don't happen to notice, oh well, you missed it. So I'm a little pissed off about that. Paper's about propaganda, but I wasn't allowed to use Nazi propaganda, American propaganda, war-related propaganda. So it made it even harder. Still got 200 words to write, so I'm a little pissed off about that. Would have been nice to know that in advance. I could have typed the paper yesterday, but there's that. And I also have an edit I have to finish, so I got a lot on my plate. Haven't eaten since noon, Josh. I'm starving, so I'm stressed, man. Welcome to college.
Yeah, big facts, big facts. But this is the last semester. You can get through it, man. I support you. If you need any help, I got you. I know you're gonna do straight. You're gonna be good. That papers, like you said, there's only 200 words left, so you good, man. That's 200 words ain't nothing for a journalist. That's nothing.
Thanks.
That's nothing for us. 200 words used to be a struggle in high school, boy. I heard 200
Right.
words, I'd be like, oh lord, that's a whole page.
Oh shoot, no.
All right,
Oh no.
I can write 200 words
Now
in
it's like, oh, okay.
30
You know, we
minutes.
we major in the BS major, journalism, communication. You find ways to expound upon stuff that's not really that deep, as you can see when we analyze media stories on our show. Some stuff they just like, come on now, you just going at it just to be finding some content because it didn't have to be that deep.
Yeah,
So,
big facts, big facts. Um, okay, so yeah, shout out to you, getting your college kid game on. Um, today I will be, um, I don't know.
ooh, undecided.
Yeah, cause I don't even know what I'm ranting about. Um, I didn't really want to rant about this, but I just wanted to send my condolences out to the family of the Iowa State golfer who was murdered at the golf course at her local Ames golf course in Ames, Iowa. I really didn't want to do this story because I don't know her name off top, and I know it, but I can't pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I really didn't want to do it like that because that's kind of bad. Let's see.
True, true.
Let's see. Her name was so yeah. I'm just gonna butcher it. Uh, Celia, Celia Barquin or Erozamina, Razamina.
Let me take a look at this.
Yeah, Celia. Shit. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted to send my condolences to her and her family.
Celia.
Celia. Yeah.
Celia Barquin Rosamina is what I would. Yeah, yeah, he was
Razamina.
close. Whatever. I don't want to say whatever, but
I wanted
names
to.
can be
It's
hard.
a crazy story. She was the top amateur golfer. She won the Big 12 championship conference recently, and I think she was probably going to be going pro soon. And it's just crazy. It was, and I think the report it was just as a homeless man, and he had an urge to kill her for whatever reason. I'm not even sure if they knew each other. But yeah, he's been charged with first degree murder. He stabbed her, So yeah, condolences to her and her family. It's crazy. It's really sad. She was only 22 years old, which is the same age
Yeah,
as him. So that's just very unfortunate.
yeah, it's it's never like a not sad thing when you see people get killed, but especially people that just had nothing. Like there was no motive other than wrong place, wrong time. You know, some crazy person saw you and decided you were the one. It wasn't something like you wronged them for whatever reason. They had a personal issue with you or didn't have a healthy relationship with you at work or at home, whatever. They just happened to see you and decided they wanted to do that harm to you.
Yeah.
So it's always sad as somebody that had nothing whatsoever to do with the killer or any connection to the killer just for whatever reason
Senseless.
decided, hmm?
I said it's senseless.
Yeah, it's just senseless, for whatever reason, I'm going to kill this person.
Yeah.
Don't know this person at all, never done anything to me in my life, but that's who I've decided I want to. So that to me is always the saddest of murder stories because there's nothing that person could have done right, wrong, or indifferent to change anything. They
Right.
just got randomly picked as the target.
Yeah. He was just literally at the wrong place at the wrong time when this
Yeah.
person got some silly urge.
And apparently, an associate, Richards, the guy that's being held right now, said that they were walking on a trail near the golf course within the last few days, and Richards said something to the effect of having an urge to rape and kill a woman.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, so that's just unfortunate that that had to be her. Of course, it wouldn't make it any different if it was anybody else, but it is genuinely unfortunate because, like I said, that's totally out of your hand. You didn't do anything to this person to even deserve or see that coming. It just happened.
Yep.
So that's sad.
Yep. So we appreciate everybody coming out rocking with us today. We will probably be back next Monday. Um, we kind of messed up and couldn't get the show on the road yesterday, so we did it today. We do want to make sure we maintain at least a show a week. Always going to be shooting for 2 a week, Monday and Friday, but this week we got to switch it up. We got busy schedules now that school's starting back, and we just got a lot going on. So, like I said, appreciate you guys coming out. Um, and Romero's gonna send us away. That's all I gotta say today.
Yeah. Thanks, Eddie and everybody. Uh, Now or in the future, definitely always appreciate you being here to help us out and give us some feedback. And last but not least, I just want to leave as I said and Josh reiterated. There will be times that our schedules just won't allow us to get out our 2 shows a week or whatever reason, maybe have to reschedule something because of some type of conflict or some troubleshooting issues. So just, be patient with us, work with us, realize that this isn't necessarily an easy thing to do. So things will happen. So just be willing to work with us and understand that sometimes things do happen. So, but if anything else, we will definitely try to keep at least one show a week going. So at least be on the lookout for that one show a week. Regardless of that, though, we appreciate you. So thank you as always.
Peace.